Baylan Skoll, a former Jedi now working as a mercenary, and his apprentice, Shin Hati, assault a New Republic cruiser to rescue Morgan Elsbeth, who had previously been apprehended by Ahsoka Tano in the show The Mandalorian. Elsbeth informs Baylan that Ahsoka is searching for Grand Admiral Thrawn, who has been missing for years after he and Ezra Bridger were dragged to an unknown location by the Purrgil, space whales that can travel through hyperspace. Ahsoka and Hu Yang obtain a star map to the location of Thrawn, and potentially Ezra, before being informed of Elsbeth's escape. Regrouping with the fleet, Ahsoka meets with General Hera Syndulla, whereupon Hu Yang reveals that the star map is still locked. Hera advises Ahsoka to obtain the help of Sabine Wren, Ahsoka's former Padawan, in unlocking the map. Ahsoka and Hu Yang travel to Lothal and meet with Sabine, who takes the map. Just as Sabine unlocks the map, she is confronted by Shin, who steals the map and stabs Sabine during a lightsaber duel. Baylan and Shin take the map to the planet Cetos, where Elsbeth reveals that Thrawn is trapped in another galaxy. Sabine, who survived Shin's attack, recovers and informs Ahsoka of her findings, and also traces the droids that attacked her to Elsbeth's factories on Corellia. Seeking the map, Ahsoka and Hera travel to the Corellian shipyards, where they discover a massive hyperdrive being built by workers loyal to the Galactic Empire. Hera chases after the transport carrying the hyperdrive, while Ahsoka duels Marok, a former Inquisitor working for Elsbeth. Marok and the transport escape, but not before Hera's astromech droid Chopper attaches a tracking device. After arresting the shipyard workers, Ahsoka is contacted by Sabine, who is ready to become her Padawan again, and find Ezra after she recuperated from her injury and cut her hair. Elsbeth is contacted by Baylan, Shin, and Marok, who obtain the hyperdrive so they can finish building her ship, the Eye of Sion. Baylan senses that Ahsoka will come for them. Sabine restarts her training under Ahsoka and Hu Yang's guidance, as she struggles with her inability to use the Force. Hera meets with Chancellor Mon Mothma and a group of influential senators in order to gain permission to send Republic forces to Cetos. Despite Mon Mothma's support, the senators refuse to believe that Thrawn and Ezra are alive and deny Hera's request. Ahsoka, Sabine, and Hu Yang travel to Cetos themselves, where they discover the Eye of Sion, but are intercepted by a squadron of fighters led by Shin and Marok, as Elsbeth uses cannons on the Eye of Sion to fire on them. Just as Hu Yang finishes scanning the Eye of Sion, Ahsoka's shuttle takes a direct hit, forcing the group to make an emergency landing on the planet, passing through a pod of Purrgil along the way to evade the remaining enemy fighters. After taking refuge in a forest, Hu Yang gives his full analysis on the Eye of Sion, which he classifies as a hyperspace ring designed to travel to another galaxy. However, Shin soon becomes aware of their attempt to hide, prompting Baylan to dispatch his forces into the woods to hunt them down. Ahsoka thinks about the implications of reaching Thrawn and Ezra, giving Sabine pause since she remains determined to find her friend. Moments later, they are attacked by several of Baylan's forces, but are able to dispatch them. Fearing that Elsbeth and Baylan will acquire the coordinates to Thrawn's location, Ahsoka and Sabine head to their base, but are intercepted by Shin and Marok. Ahsoka kills Marok and continues on alone, while Sabine stays behind to hold off Shin, who realizes that Sabine cannot wield the Force. Ahsoka reaches Baylan, and the two engage in a duel. Ahsoka is able to retrieve the map, but she tosses it aside after it burns her hand. Baylan overpowers and sends Ahsoka plummeting into the ocean. Sabine holds the map at gunpoint, but Baylan manipulates her into handing it over by promising that she will see Ezra again. After Thrawn's location is revealed, Baylan destroys the map to ensure they aren't followed, and boards the Eye of Sion with Shin and Sabine as their prisoner. A squadron of New Republic fighters, led by Hera, arrives at Cetos and tries, but fails, to stop the Eye of Sion from jumping into hyperspace. Meanwhile, Ahsoka awakens in the world between worlds, where she is met by her former master, Anakin Skywalker. Hera arrives on Cetos, where she finds Ahsoka and Sabine gone. While investigating alongside his mother, Jason senses that Ahsoka is in the world between worlds, thus revealing his own connection with the Force. In the in-between space, Anakin explains to Ahsoka that he had been watching her through the Force, and deduces that her loss with Balin is partially due to her unresolved guilt over the events that drove them apart. Ahsoka loses a duel with Anakin and relives fragments of her past during the Clone Wars, during which she grows concerned that her legacy will only be one of fighting. Believing Anakin's teachings includes his legacy as Darth Vader, she initially refuses him, determined to not be held back by the past, which leads to another duel between them. Finally understanding that she wasn't involved in Anakin's downfall and that her legacy is her own choice, Ahsoka chooses to live and continue fighting. Ahsoka is recovered by Hera's crew, and through her powers she learns that Sabine is with Balin. Hera is contacted by Mon Mothma, who informs her that New Republic forces are en route to take her and Ahsoka into custody for defying the Senator's orders. As the Republic fleet detachment arrives, Ahsoka recruits a pod of Purrgil to take her and Hu Yang to Ezra and Sabine, while Hera, Jacen, and Chopper stay behind. While traveling with the Purrgil, Ahsoka and Hu Yang discuss Sabine's choice in siding with the enemy to find Ezra. Meanwhile, the Eye of Sion arrives on Peridia, the ancient homeworld of Elsbeth's people, known as the Dathomiri. Elsbeth, Balin, Shin, and Sabine meet the Great Mothers, a group of Night Sisters allied with Thrawn. As they wait for the Grand Admiral's arrival, Balin relates to Shin his belief that the fall of the Jedi and the rise of the Empire were part of an inevitable cycle, one he intends to break. Thrawn arrives with his Star Destroyer, the Chimera, and honors Balin's promise by providing Sabine with provisions, a Howler mount, and the latest intelligence on Ezra's whereabouts. After Sabine leaves, Thrawn orders Balin and Shin to follow her at their own pace, so they can kill both her and Ezra. Surviving an ambush by bandits, Sabine encounters the native Nati and follows them to their village where she reunites with Ezra. While tracking Sabine, Balin senses that there is a greater power on Peridia and tells Shin that he intends to find and use it. Anticipating Ahsoka coming with the Purrgil, Thrawn demands all the details of her history from Elsbeth and orders her to kill any arriving Purrgil. On Coruscant, Hera faces a disciplinary hearing, with tribunal member Senator Xiono objecting to her reports of the secret Imperial Remnant conspiracy. C-3PO arrives and provides the tribunal with a fake authorization by Leia Organa, which came after the mission had already been completed, forcing the court to absolve Hera and convincing Mon Mothma that the threat is real. Arriving at Peridia, the Purrgils run into a minefield left by Thrawn's forces and retreat. Continuing alone, Ahsoka and Hu Yang are attacked by enemy fighters and hide in a debris field, compelling the Grand Admiral to adopt a more calculated approach. Ahsoka locates Sabine through the Force and heads to the planet's surface. Ezra, Sabine, and the Nati are attacked by Shin, the bandits Sabine had previously encountered, and Thrawn's night troopers, while Balin leaves to pursue his own agenda. Ahsoka's intervention forces Thrawn to withdraw his remaining night troopers and prepare his imminent departure. Ahsoka invites Shin, who has been left behind, to join them, but Shin instead rides away. Ahsoka, Ezra, and Sabine then joyously reconnect. Elsbeth is gifted a Night Sister sword from the Great Mothers to confront the Jedi, while Ezra constructs a new lightsaber using spare parts from his late master, Kanan Jarrus. Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ezra make their way to the Chimera, which has docked with the Eye of Sion, but are confronted by Elsbeth and the Night Troopers, whom the Great Mothers resurrect after initially being defeated. As they are confronted by more Night Troopers, Sabine uses the Force to grab her lightsaber and kill them, and then helps Ezra jump onto the Chimera as Ahsoka kills Elsbeth. The Eye of Sion jumps to hyperspace, leaving Ahsoka, Sabine, and Hu Yang stranded on Peridia. As Thrawn and the Great Mothers arrive over Dathomir, Ezra escapes and reunites with Hera and Chopper. Shin joins the bandits, while Balin is guided to a mountain by a statue of the Mortis gods. Ahsoka, Sabine, and Hu Yang join the Nati and make peace with their new home on Peridia, as they are watched over by Anakin's spirit.